You ever have that thing where you're like, man, I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna do this, and then maybe 3 days later, or the day later, you lose motivation, or literally you're thinking about it that night, and then that morning you have no motivation to do it? Well, that's pretty freaking normal, and I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks on how to not quit on yourself. But first, I gotta grab some eggs real quick because I'm cooking breakfast at 12:40 in the afternoon. Okay, so this happens to a lot of people. It's motivation versus dedication, right? Or consistency, whatever you want to say. Um, self discipline is another one. But essentially, is what happens is our motivation is in a certain time, and then our self discipline and dedication to the thing we're trying to get better at is us doing it even when we don't feel like doing it or when it's not the perfect time to do it. And I feel like mixing those two is going to help you, mixing motivation and dedication, right? Is going to help you become more consistent. And then once you get it in your schedule where it's something that you just do every single day, it becomes a lot easier. I'll give you an example of this that I went through personally. I'll give you two examples actually that I went through personally. Both have to do with wrestling because that's what I did. My one example was in high school. I realized that the only way I was going to win matches against the better guys is I was going to have to gas them out and then win that way. And so what I started doing in practice to never get tired in matches is I started just telling myself I wasn't tired in practice and kept wrestling as hard as I could. Even when I was exhausted, I just kept wrestling through every single position and fought for points every single time in practice. And that consistency over time helped me in matches continue wrestling even when I was exhausted in matches. And so me just telling myself that I wasn't tired over and over and over, even though I was, I basically just brainwashed myself into having a really good gas tank. And then my body's built for it too, so that helped as well. The second thing that I will say is I hate it with lifting weights, but in college I wanted to move from 157 to 165. And so I needed to eat a lot and I needed to lift a lot to get bigger. So I went from lifting 3 days a week and not really enjoying it to lifting 5 days a week and still not really enjoying it. But it's needed to get done. So I was strong enough to wrestle 165 the next year, and I had a bunch of injuries, so I was trying to solve that problem too. And I just woke up every single day, and I knew that I had to go to practice, and I knew I had to go lift. Otherwise, my goals weren't going to get done. And so I just forced myself every single day to go do this thing. And you go, Weston, I try to do that, and it just doesn't work for me. That's because you didn't do it long enough. I'm telling you, once you do it long enough, you'll hit a point. It's just going to become the normal for you. And you're just going to go out and do the thing that, because it feels wrong not to. And so that summer I was moving up to 65. I had to wake up 5:30 every morning to go lift, which sucked, and I hated it because I'm not a very morning person. I like waking up in the mornings, but I'm not a morning person. And 5:30 is a little bit ridiculous for anybody. And so I was waking up every single day, and then it just got normal to me where it was like, hey, this is what I do, right? And my schedule was, hey, I go lift in the morning, and then I do whatever I want for the rest of the day, and it got normal. And so that consistency just builds up over time, and you get used to it, and that's kind of all you need to do. And that's how you're going to stop quitting on yourself. That's how you're going to stop feeling motivated and then not doing the thing the next day. You're just going to slowly stack up days, and then eventually it's just going to be something that you do every single day. I want to say someone told me that it takes like 7 days or 7 times doing something where it becomes a habit, so it really doesn't take that long. So it's like you wake up 7 days in a row and do X thing that you want to do. Well, then, on the 8th day, it's going to be a little bit easier. And on the 9th day, it's going to be a little bit easier. But that works the same way in reverse. Is every single time we quit on ourselves when we don't do something, right, it makes it easier the next day not to do that thing, and the next day not to do that thing. And so we need to remember that, both sides of the coin is if we quit every single day or we slack off every single day, that it's going to build up against us, where if we just continue doing what we know that we should be doing every single day, then it's going to continually work in our favor, and we're going to be dedicated, and we're going to get the stuff done that we actually need to get done. So that's how to not quit on yourself. Hope you enjoyed.